What's going on in the world of The Bear? What's going on? Hey guys, it's Sydney, and today we'll be talking about season 3 of The Bear. The Bear is a series on FX starring Jeremy Allen White as Carmen Barrasso, who is an acclaimed chef who has left his family restaurant after his brother Michael Barrasso committed suicide. The first season follows him and the rest of the beef employees trying to get... Can you not do that? I haven't even started the video. You're already being messy. Okay. The first season follows him and the rest of the beef employees trying to get the restaurant out of a poor financial situation. There is a black hole named Ted Fack introduced in this season. We'll get to that later. The second season focuses on the creation and the opening of The Bear, which is a renovated version of The Beef, which is financed by Cicero, who is Carmy and Sugar's uncle. Let me explain the dynamic and the family tree of the characters, okay? Of course, we have Carmen Barrasso, who is also called Carmy, Carm, Bear, all these things. He has a sister named Sugar, and I think her full name is Natalie. That's the whole thing. I just came from outside. Do I look crazy? Do I look like I'm sweating bullets? Because I am. Then there's Michael, who is Carmen and Sugar's brother who passed away. Richie is the cousin who's not the cousin, but is really just who was Michael's best friend, but he's basically like family because he grew up with them and they've been around for so long. Richie has a wife has an ex-wife and a daughter. Then there's Tina. Tina's mother, she's a line cook and she's been with the beef for quite a little bit. She was originally hired by Michael and she was very apprehensive to the beef changing at first, but she got along with it. She got into cooking and she really found a passion in it. There's Marcus, who is the pastry chef. He was with the beef and then he went on to go with the Bear. He's cool. He's played by Lionel Boyce from Odd Future. And when I was watching, I was like, Lionel, is that you? Then there's Sydney, who we share the same name, so you know that's my girl. You know that's my girl, who's played by Ayo. I can always say her name, but whenever I actually say her name, I always forget. Ayo Debari. There's Ibrahim. There's Ibrahim, who is kind of like, now he's the head cook at the beef, which is like a separate part, but it's separate from the Bear now, but it's like a window where like all the regulars come because they really wanted their sandwiches back. Cicero is Carmy, Nats, that's their uncle. Basically, he helps finance the beef, and he bought the restaurant for them because it was about to close down. It was this whole thing, so he bought it. He financed the renovation. This whole thing, they had to go through this whole thing. Just watch it. I'm not talking about that season. Those seasons were great. We're talking about the bad season. He is my favorite character because he's just such a vibe, y'all. Y'all know I love me an Italian mob man. Y'all know I love it. Y'all know I did not play by Casino, Goodfellas. I did not play about none of that. So y'all know I don't play about Cicero. Are you serious? Then there's their Carmy's and Nat's mother. The mother, her name is Donna. They hate her, sort of kind of for good reason. They kind of hate her. And then there are the Fack brothers. I already talked about Ted Fack. That's my aunt. But Neil is actually cool. He's like tatted up. He's lit. Like he's actually funny. Like they know when to bring him and when not to. So yeah, I'm just gonna go in and talk about everything that I did not like this season. But like it's not really gonna be episodic. Like, I'm not going episode by episode, but I'm just talking about the things that frustrated me. So the first episode, you already made me mad because it was just a series of flashbacks that I wish they just sprinkled throughout the season instead of making a whole first episode of flashbacks. When I first watched it, because I watched this episode 3 times. Because the first time I was like, okay, I'm confused. I have to watch this again. So I watched it again and then I continued with the rest of the season. And then I watched the season again so I could make the video so I could really have a good understanding of the season. Bored out of my mind. What are we doing? The thing is, those flashbacks are supposed to explain the non-negotiables, which I understand, and how he picked up the negative things from the person that actually ruined his life. And then we have him picking up the good things from a chef that he really looked up to, that really made him value cooking and stuff like that. And we see that sprinkled throughout the season, which is a nice callback, but at the same time, we did not need that. Like, we stayed stuck in the past. And I feel like this season is very like a transition season. Like, it's gonna transition into the next season. It's gonna set the tone for the next season. But at the same time, there is nothing going on in this season. Why would you put it out? Like, there was no payoff. The most we get, like, the most insane situation that we have is that Cicero wants to close the bear. Either at the beginning of the last episode or the end of the second to last episode, he's like telling Carmen, like, if we get a bad review, we're closing this down. And then the second episode, which I feel like was the most like the bear, I actually liked the second episode quite a bit. It was stressing me out. Of course I liked it. Basically, Carmen introduced these non-negotiables, and they're like actually insane. One of the non-negotiables is that we change the menu every day, and that we have to constantly evolve through passion and creativity. Most of these people just started liking cooking. Like, please fall back, Carmen. Be calm. And it was just so stressful hearing him and Richie. It was funny though. That was funny. Like, moments like that are what makes the bear funny. But then they have to add the facts coming in and being like, well, Claire hates you. And Claire is Carmen's love interest, basically someone he was dealing with for the first 2 seasons, but he ruined it. But the thing is, what he said to Claire wasn't even that bad. Like, he just said that he's messed up. It's not like he said that Claire is a terrible person and deserves to die. He did not say that. He just said that he's personally messed up. He's like bad at what he does, and he cannot focus on him in his restaurant because Claire is here and he's giving a lot of his attention to Claire, which is true. Like, a lot of stuff he would drop the ball on. He would flake on the bear, he would flake on the beef, so he would go hang out with Claire. That's his problem. Claire's not flaking on her job to go hang out with you. She is working in an emergency room. You think she can flake on her job to hang out with you, Carmen? That's a priority issue with you. Y'all can hang out on Sunday when the bear is closed. Clock that T. He mad. And that just made me mad. And like, Richie was actually being everybody else was being so reasonable while Carmen was being unreasonable. You don't own this place. Cicero does. You're in a partnership agreement. That's the thing. That's why this partnership agreement will never work, because he don't listen to nobody else. Sid would tell him, no, don't do this. The only time he listened to her is when it comes to the food and making the recipes and stuff like that. That's the only time he listened to her. Any other time, he don't listen to her at all. And it makes me mad because it's like she's trying to give you the tea, give you the jungle juice and all that, and he's being weird. And I'm like, stop being weird. She mad, y'all. But yes, and then the rest of the season is just like, it's just like, that's how it feels. Like, it's scratching your brain in. Like, we get introduced to the fact that Richie's ex-wife now has a new fiance, and they're gonna get married soon, and Richie kind of doesn't want to go to the wedding because, like, the guy is perfect, and he doesn't want to see the woman that he kind of still loves, like, move on from him. Like, I understand, Richie, who you talking to? I understand. Which I feel like was interesting. We just spent like one episode on that. Like, we didn't really dive into that. And then Marcus's mother passes away at the end of the last season. She passes away, and then we spend 2 episodes on that, and then we move on, and then Marcus' character is just fine. Like, he's back to being himself, like, in 2 seconds. And I'm just like, are we serious right now? And like, the thing is, he does want to like pretend like he's moving on, and like he doesn't want to talk about his grief and stuff like that. But like, almost all the people here have lost Michael or have lost their mothers themselves, like Sydney. Like, I felt like the moment where they were joking about like being in like the Dead Moms Club was like actually like very, very sweet and heartwarming. You realize why they're friends and why, like, and he finally apologizes to why he acted the way he did when he asked her out and she said no, and I was just like, that's nice, because I'm like, he was clearly stressed out. Like, it was a stressful situation, and Sydney was not listening. Sydney was ignoring him. Like, I can't even lie. When I went back and watched it in the episode, I was like, yeah, she was ignoring him. Like, she can't even act like she wasn't. Like, she was definitely ignoring him, because she heard him and she wouldn't talk to him, and then he started yelling at her face. That was OD. I would say. I was like, you're being weird. Don't do that. I would also like to add, that episode is the only time where I feel like, oh my gosh, we're a proper family. We are a proper family, because they all came together to help Marcus clean out his mother's house, and they came to the funeral. It was very sad. It was a sad moment. because like none of them knew Marcus's mother, but they all knew Marcus, and they all knew how great of a person he was, and the fact that like if he's such a great person, the person that raised him must be great too. And then we finally get more of Marcus's backstory, like how he didn't have a father growing up, and I was just him and his mom, like he didn't have no siblings, none of that. Like he's now alone, like it's just him and the bear right now, because we don't know if he got friends outside of this. It's just him and the bear right now, and if the bear fails, what is he gonna do? And at the first episode, oh my gosh, not the first episode, the second episode, him and Carmi are speaking, and he's talking about how he was there at the bear, because it was the bear's opening night when his mother passed away. He was like, I was here when she passed away, and I think that's how it was supposed to be. He's like, take us there, bear. Corn factor on 1,000,000, but y'all ate that. Y'all ate that. That's take us there, bear. Take us there. Take us there. Write that down. Shakespeare couldn't think of that. Now let's talk about the bane of my existence, the facts. Why is John Cena a fact brother? I remember when I first watched it, I was like, minding my business. I was watching the show. I was like, John Cena. Like that was literally my reaction, because I was like, what's going on in the world of the bear? What's going on? Don't make me upset. And like that whole scene wasn't that very funny. Like it was funny, but it was like annoying, because it was just like they introduced this concept of haunting, which I think is something that their family does, because Richie knew about it too. He was like, it was like, oh, haunt him, but like they're ruining the photo shoot because they're smoking in the restaurant. They're being annoying to the photographer, trying to press him for questions about the review and stuff like that. But I'm like, but like, even if he knew what was happening in the review, he couldn't tell you. That's his job. That's bad journalism. Don't make me mad. While that's happening, they're trying to do budget cuts, and they're trying to be like, oh, we need to like cut down, because Carmen is using so much money on this menu, so much money trying to change it up every single time. Like they buy a bunch of ingredients, and then Carmen's like, oh, we're not using that anymore. We're changing the menu every day. Oh, I'm sorry. We're changing the menu every day. Don't make me mad. Like, I was on Twitter, and they were like, this season really makes you hate Carmi. And it was before I watched the season. And then I started watching this. I was like, yeah, y'all kind of right. I was like, I hate this dude, because he's so annoying and so stubborn and so rude. He's like, we have to collaborate. We have to do all this, but you're not collaborating on nothing. Like, I get changing it every week. Okay, but every single day you're trying to move like a 3-star restaurant when you don't have 3-star restaurant money. You're not established enough for this to be changing your restaurant every single day. Like, there's, don't make me angry. And then when somebody tries to tell him about himself, because he don't know how to run a business, you know how to cook, you know how to cook just fine, but this is his first time running a restaurant. You don't know how to do that. You used to be a CDC. This ain't you right now, Carby. This ain't you. Fix it. During this time, they really want Sydney to sign this partnership agreement. And Sydney don't want to sign it for real, because she's like, I don't know where this is going to be. And then she gets another offer to be a CDC at another restaurant, which will give her a partnership stake into the restaurant. And it's a better deal. She gets $80,000 a year instead of $70,000. She gets benefits. She gets bonuses upon review. And she gets like all this stuff, and she's secure because this person already made a name for themselves. And they already run a business and run a restaurant. Well, they haven't run a restaurant, but they were CDC for somebody else. And their restaurant just closed because this restaurant, the good restaurant that Carmen was at ever, closed down this season. And it was this whole thing. I feel like that's really weighing on his mental too, because somewhere that he was at for so long, that did so much for his career, it did so much for him, is like closing down, it's just going poof. And I feel like that's really affecting him too, because that could be the bear soon, because of the way I'm not gonna clock his seat. I'm not gonna clock it. I'm gonna leave him alone. But this season was just full of filler. Hey guys, it's editor Sydney here, and I just wanted to come in and talk about an episode that I really did like. It was Napkins. It was an episode directed by Ayo Debari, and it was just too good. We really needed a Tina backstory, because we knew she had a son, but that was pretty much it. I didn't know all of the stuff that happened with her, how she got the job. The fact that we got a nice callback to the first episode, which I felt like, I was like, oh, that's why all those flashbacks were there, because we're going to get constant callbacks from those episodes to now. It really showed us how personable Michael was also, because as soon as them two met, like he instantly empathized with her, which is something that Carmi lacks. And we see how Michael being a businessman differs than Carmi being a chef in those episodes. So yes, it also shows why Tina was so apprehensive to changing the beef. But I'm not gonna get into that right now. We're just gonna go back to me bashing this season, okay? Last episode was so boring. Like, I was watching, I was just like, this can't be the bear. This can't be it. Like, we were sitting there listening to everybody's conversation about why they love cooking for like 20 minutes straight. And half of the people we didn't even know. We only knew one person. It was the dude from Copenhagen. What? And then in that episode, Carmi finally confronts like the chef that like kind of ruined his life. And the chef didn't even remember his name. And he was like, I made you a better chef. Don't make me angry. And also in that episode, we find out that he did get a bad review from these people that came to review them. And yeah. The bear may be shutting down next season, okay? The thing is, I feel like that bad review could have came earlier. Like, I really felt like it should have came maybe like the 7th or 8th episode, and we could have been trying to convince Cicero, cutting back, really trying to learn, trying to convince Carmi that this is high stakes. This is people's livelihood. Cicero is pouring his entire, like, all of his money into this business, and you're throwing it away because you want to have a Michelin star. You can get a Michelin star. You can't get a Michelin star. You're not going to get a Michelin star if the business closed down, Carmi. Be serious. The food was great. If you just kept the food being great for like maybe a couple of months, stacked up some bread, then maybe, because mind y'all, this season takes place a week after the last season. All of this is happening a week after the last season. Are you serious? And you made all those changes a week after the last season. Don't make me angry. I think that's all I had to say. I'm pretty sure that's all I had to say. This wasn't rant because I only had a few notes. Like, I only had like a few beginning notes. Like, this is straight from the dog, guys. That's why I kind of like stuttered a lot. If y'all don't notice, if I don't have something written down, like, I'm a stutter and I'm gonna like speak through my thoughts. That's just how I am. But thank you guys so much for the love on the last couple of videos. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We are there. We are going up. We are going up. Hopefully this is not like the bear and does not flop. Like, I'm losing my mind. Thank you guys so much for watching. The Carrie Diaries vid will be out next week. Hopefully, I'm watching it right now. They already stressing me out, guys. I feel like I've told y'all to like, comment, and subscribe 15 million times, but please like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Letterboxd, Blondie Cindy, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.